welcome you to another edition of This is Wrestling. It is Lee Versage alongside the one and only, just fresh off of Chris Van Vliet, the famous Zach McGibbon, Z Gibbon, for our post-elimination chamber. It is glorious, Bobby Roode glorious of you to join us with this incredible national and international recognition that you've got over the last week.
Well, so you're alluding to the fact that Brad Williams, the comedian Brad Williams, was on Chris Van Vliet's podcast. Not me, because I am neither Hornswoggle, nor am I comedian Brad Williams, nor am I Paul Walter Hauser, nor am I the guy on CNN, Donnie O'Sullivan. I'm none of those people, okay?
Were you not on Chris Van Vliet, his podcast this week?
I feel like I would be promoting that way more here on This is Wrestling than I was on Chris Van Vliet's podcast.
You're a humble guy. Other people have to do it for you. I'm doing it for you right now. What do you mean? That wasn't you?
No, it was not me. And people could stop tagging me in that. That'd be nice.
Well,
it reminds me when Hornswoggle came down.
What a waste of our and my time to listen to that whole thing. I thought it was you. I'm pretty sure it was you.
Not one mention of This is Wrestling should have thrown you off, because I would have been in full promoter mode if I was on there.
Well, that's a good point by you. Welcome to the recap show of the Elimination Chamber here on This is Wrestling. As we sit here, I am just on my coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I got a drink. It's 10:30 on a Sunday morning. And I feel like it's 12 hours wasted from where we should have had Zach McGibbon. Was busy, sends Leafs, other things going on last night. But Zach, I was anxious to talk to you after this show. How are you?
Oh, this show. I mean, another classic WWE PLE presented to you by the great booking team involving Paul Levesque and Road Dogg and Bruce Pritchard and Michael P.S. Hayes. Michael P.S. Hayes, who said on Unreal that he was put on this earth to help write professional wrestling. So I'm looking, what has God's creation given us for this pro wrestling show we got yesterday? 4 matches coming into this, 2 of them elimination chambers, 2 of them singles matches. And oh, by the way, the tickets for this were like insane. It was like $500 for a single ticket to get into the building for Elimination Chamber at the Allstate Arena. The first time that WWE has been in the Allstate Arena in God knows how long. I know that the first time was Brett and Owen in the SummerSlam match, the cage match, I believe it was. So this has been a long time coming. You finally get CM Punk in there. What's the best foot forward? And this was the best foot forward that the WWE had brought in on the road to WrestleMania. This is what we got. I can't wait to break all this down match by match. I mean, it's going to be so extensive. All the matches we have to cover here, all 4 matches we have to break down and intensively. And they took 3 hours of my life away for this card. And I'm still stuck in these ads and just looking at because we're Canadian, so we have the Netflix loading screen. So I got to hear the same music repeat over and over again. And the same slow motion shots of like Io Sky and
Zach. See what? Oh, hold on. One of the things that you need to do is appreciate the fact that during those like 4 or 5 minute holdover segments that you are getting a lesson in language. You are getting an ability. How do you say "we'll be right back" in 9 different languages? Like, I feel like this is just a missed opportunity for a little bit of scholastic endeavors here. Like, come on.
True. I could become Claudio Castagnoli and learn multiple languages and get buried by Lee Versage each and every week on This is Wrestling. I could be that guy. But no, I was just sitting there. I'm like, well, Leafs and Sens are on, and the Sens are doing great right now. I'd much rather watch that as a Sens fan as opposed to having to sit through the same slow motion. And then it's Io Sky slow motion, Rhea Ripley slow motion, Roman Reigns doing the one slow motion. Is like, can we change it up? Are we sure there isn't like a promo video I can at least watch in between? instead of having to wait for the We'll Be Right Back, only to come back to an ad after I was just waiting there for the We'll Be Right Back on Netflix. Oh, it was just
Okay, so
much time wasted.
the good news for you is with this card, you can't properly talk about the card unless you go back to Friday night SmackDown in Louisville, Kentucky. Because Zach, I know this is going to shock you. I know, like, you're gonna have to sit down for this.
All right, I'm sitting down.
Okay, but get to the edge of your seat because I don't know how you're gonna react.
All right.
They switched a tertiary title, not a primary title and not a secondary title, but a tertiary title the night before a pay-per-view on Friday Night SmackDown. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky defending the women's tag belts. And if you can believe it, Zach, we had a title change.
What?
The night before, people are actually going to pay hundreds of dollars to go to a pay-per-view and watch it all across the world. We had a title change on free TV with a tertiary title.
No way.
So you like this goddamn company. Like, I mean, Zach, I have been saying this for a long time. Like, are you like, it's the formula that the dumbest person in the world could follow and go, yeah, well, here's what I think they're going to do. They're going to make some insignificant title change and really a title change just to free up one of the competitors.
Yep.
And we're going to put the belts on, I don't know, just choose anybody because we'll just figure that stuff out later. But we gotta free up one of the competitors, and we've saddled her with a tag belt. So we got to get those belts off of them. So we'll do it right. We'll do this shocking thing and do it right before the pay-per-view. And we'll get a little excitement going into the pay-per-view. Like, this goddamn company, Zach, has the exact same formula every time. It's embarrassing. And so Rhea Ripley,
well, I mean, there's so many matches on the PLE card that you can't get every match on the card. So we have to, maybe skip something for TV. Of course, Lee. I mean,
but it's the same
look at how loaded up.
Zach. They just needed to free up Rhea Ripley to get into the Elimination Chamber, which we're going to get to. That's all they had to do. So they were like, we'll just put them on anybody. I don't even know what the name of the team is because every women's tag team needs a name in every company from WWE to AEW. But Lash Legend and Nia Jax are the new women's tag team champions. And I swear to God, go back to every single pay-per-view that's not like the Rumble or WrestleMania or one of the big four and see what they did the night before on SmackDown. Like, it's almost guaranteed title change night.
Really?
They do it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. So, but you have to talk about that because they literally had to free Rhea Ripley up to get into this Elimination Chamber. So they put the belts on Lash Legend, who has earned her stripes.
I guess. And tagging with Nia Jax. They're probably going to run roughshod all over the WWE women's tag team division.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be, I just looked up their name as you were mentioning it, because as you mentioned, now, once you're in a tag team, you have to have a name. Like Lee and I, we can't be, Lee Versage and Zach McGibbon.
No.
In the tag team. We gotta have a funny nickname, right? Or because we need to sell some merchandise. And so in this case,
I don't want to peg WWE because AEW is terrible right now at it. Just so it's every company.
AEW is also bad for this too. I mean, I've been saying that each and every week too.
I just want to make sure like we're not completely piling on. However, go ahead.
This is a criticism across all companies right now. but the name of the tag team champions of Nia Jax and Lash Legend
Oh my
are
God,
the
Zach. You know what?
irresistible forces.
I was just gonna say I just thought of it because it's the immovable objects that are gonna come.
Yeah.
Like, which team is gonna be the immovable objects?
That's going to be a great question.
and
And
we're
it
gonna
has
have
to
the-
take place at WrestleMania now because that's where Gorilla Monsoon made the call at WrestleMania. So, I mean, it's just brilliant booking when you think about it.
I just can't handle it.
Get fired up, Lee. And we haven't even gotten to the Elimination Chamber itself. Like, it is like on SmackDown, we had the masked person come out and they revealed the masked person, or at least we thought they did. And it was just a guy that was under a mask. It was just a guy. And we were like, oh,
That's the other part. Like, it's just a guy.
or so we thought. Or so we thought. And we're like, oh, it's a guy. And they won't reveal his name on TV. Okay, fine, sure. Oh, we only built this up for weeks and weeks. It's like something else that was built up for weeks and that was revealed on the show. And I cannot wait to talk about that too. This company. I mean, I here's the thing going into before we start this review. There are some people that only know me through this podcast. They just hear what I say on the WWE shows or whatever,
Right.
on the wrestling shows. Some people might laugh when they hear me say this, but I'm actually a pretty easygoing, relaxed guy. I'm usually pretty even keel. It's just something about these WWE PLEs that brings a different side out of me. And I just cannot, for the life of me, understand sometimes. Like, I watch these shows, and the worst thing I do, and I texted you this last night, is like, I go on a social media and I see the reaction to see how people are reacting. And I feel like I'm getting gaslit every time.
Right.
Like, I look at them like, and I'm like, what? I want this version of the show that they're watching and they're enjoying, because I'm seeing something completely different. There's all this praise, all this. There's so many kid gloves when it comes to the WWE, the number one company. I just don't understand. We'll break it down for all the matches, and break it all down. But boy, this was another one of those WWE master classes of a PLE where I just came away. I'm like, I spent 3 hours of my life watching this show that I can't get back.
Yep. I was just looking up the amount of times the women tag belts have changed hands. We had Roman Reigns with 1,000-day reign.
Mm-hmm.
Way more than that. It was like 1,300 or something, wasn't it? It was some crazy number.
Right.
You know, the big champions brag about having it a year and a half, 2 years. Zach. Zach, the women's tag belts have changed hands, by the way. In the last calendar year, how many times do you think they've changed hands?
I'm going to say, let's go in the last year. Let's go with 7.
Yeah, 8.
Oh, all right. So it was close.
That was the eighth title change in the last calendar year on Friday.
Yeah.
And if I said to anybody at all, the women's tag belts were announced in 2019, how many of those teams could you think back and name? Because what those belts are just a combination of singles wrestlers that they have nothing to do with. So they strap them on as a team, they make up a funny name, and then they just run with it.
Yep. The only tag team I can truly recall winning those belts was Sasha Banks, Naomi, and that's only because they walked out of the company over the booking of those titles afterwards.
Which is one of the longest reigns because they just didn't do anything with the titles.
Yes.
From when they vacated them in the middle of May 2022, they all summer they didn't do anything with them.
But they did explain that booking of why they vacated those titles, right, on that Unreal episode.
They did not. So I would actually love, like, if I gave you, I know you don't have it up in front of you. So this is a legitimate question, because when I say this, folks, I mean this. Like, I kid Zach a lot, but you're going to have to get up pretty early in the day to get one past Zach McGibbon in the world of professional wrestling. Like you are. Like you're not just waking up and going, yeah, like I'll just fire this and Zach won't know it. No, he will. So when they vacated the titles and took all summer to figure out what they were going to do with them in 2022, they had the finals of a tournament at the end of August in 2022. One of the wrestlers was Raquel Rodriguez, who won the belt. I'm going to give you 5 guesses as to who the other person was.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
No, like legit. I need you to try to guess.
All right. I don't have it up in front of me. So this is all off the noggin.
It is, but I need you to do this. And for people listening, try and do it without looking it up.
Yes.
Like seriously, if you want to look it up, be a hero. All these heroes that are really good at getting to their phones really quickly and typing it in Google and pretending that they knew. That's you right now. If you're listening and you're Googling to try and act smarter, don't. You're not smart. That's why you're listening to this podcast with a couple other guys who, well, Zach's actually quite bright, but I'm not. So that's why you're listening, to be in simpatico with me.
That's right. This is not an open book test.
Right.
All right. So my first guess is Liv Morgan.
Incorrect.
All right. Well,
by the way, they defeated Dakota Sky and Io Sky.
Dakota Sky?
Dakota Kai.
Oh,
and
Dakota
Io
Kai.
Sky.
Whoa. I was going to say, did Io Sky as a sister that I wasn't aware of?
Well, listen, Michael Cole, we'll get to him.
He had a night. Look, we're doing our best here not to cover the Elimination Chamber.
That's right, because
that's all
because everyone was pretty bad.
Yeah, like I once we get into it, but
I know.
I don't want to.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, 4 other guesses. Trying to think of who was on the women's roster and who was paired up with Raquel Rodriguez. Oh boy. Nia Jax.
Incorrect.
Oh, all right. I got 3 more guesses. Well, this is tough.
So if you're listening, try and think about who would have been with Raquel Rodriguez in the summer of 2022 after they had 4 months to figure out what they were going to do with these titles and how they were going to do it. They're going to have an 8-team tournament. The finals are going to be on Raw in Pittsburgh. And this is the plan. This is where we're going to go.
Yep. This is what we do.
Right.
Rhea Ripley.
Zach, I need you to dig a little bit deeper into the roster at this point.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Jeez. Who's on the undercard of the...
Yeah, like this is not a Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan
I'm shooting too high. Oh, no.
I think you're shooting way too high.
Way too high?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this is the point, folks, and this is not to try to make Zach or anybody. This is, as you're listening, the point is they had months to figure out what they were going to do after they stripped Naomi and Sasha Banks, who left and walked out. They never explained it. They never explained anything with Naomi coming back. And then they had a reality show to go behind the scenes, which they never explained anything about her walking out, about the bridge that she burned. How did she get back?
Yeah.
Any of that type of stuff.
Yeah. And they were like, you could never like rebuild those bridges. Anyway, they rebuilt that bridge. It was unbelievable. I just,
okay. Just throw out a couple of like names deep in the roster and.
God, who was on that women's roster
right
at that time?
I'll tell you. I'll give you a couple of hints.
Yeah.
Canadian.
Okay.
Canadian.
Chelsea Green.
No, not Chelsea Green. Currently, she's out of Toronto. Currently 31 years old.
What's her name? She retired recently. Now I know who you're talking about. I see her face. She was a bad wrestler. Oh my God.
Yeah. So the latest I have on her is that like a year and a half ago, she was in Destiny Wrestling for a tiny bit.
Yeah. I know. I see her face. I'm trying to remember what her name was.
Yeah, her name was Aaliyah.
Aaliyah. Yes, that's
Okay.
okay.
Just so you know, 4 months, Raquel Rodriguez and Aaliyah were your
Oh,
tag team women's champions.
Oh, that's a rough state of affairs.
Right? Like, I'm just saying, you got to wake up pretty early to get one past Zach.
Oh,
And
yeah. Well, once you gave the hints, I was like, oh, yes, I haven't thought about Aaliyah and it's probably since that tag title tournament.
yeah, probably.
Man, I read news recently about her saying that she was leaving the business.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, didn't really light it up after WWE let her go. So
probably Aaliyah, I don't want to put her down, but probably just behind Katana Chance and Caden Carter, also women's tag champ.
Right. Yeah.
You know, who then, you know, we're right.
Caden Carter's signed to the AEW roster now. She's not used, but she's on the AEW roster now.
And then, like, not long after that, the Unholy Union.
The Unholy Union. Is that like the Holy Demon Army? Is that what we're talking about? Do you know
who would have been the Unholy Union?
I don't know.
Who won the belts in Glasgow?
Oh, okay. So that would be Kaylee Ray or whatever her name is now. Kaylee Ray.
Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
Oh, yeah. Alba Fire's Kaylee Ray. So I was, there you go.
Anyway, we're off the women's tag belts, but they changed them to get Rhea Ripley freed up as we head into the Elimination Chamber, Zach. That brings us right to match number 1 with the Women's Elimination Chamber. And for some reason, it takes them forever to get out and into the chamber, which I never, you know, it's all about moments and it's all about this and it's all about that.
And spots and Instagram reels, TikToks.
Right. So with the competitors, Alexa Bliss comes out first. Rhea Ripley is there. Of course, Raquel Rodriguez, Tiffany Stratton, Asuka, and Kiana James, the 6 competitors.
Yep.
So I guess Zach will skip ahead. Alexa Bliss out first after getting misted.
That was such a dumb finish. Oh my God. So like she's setting up for the Sister Abigail, right?
Yeah.
And for some reason she looks up at the sign and just takes her sweet ass time and then points at the sign while she's about to like, and then after she points at the sign, then Asuka miss her and then she gets rolled up by Kiana James or whatever, gets pinned and then eliminated. Geek. What a geek elimination. Just hit the move. You're right there. It's like, we all know what it's all about. You keep pointing at the side. Why are you pointing at the side in the middle of the match? And then Asuka has the mist. And then, of course, we get the classic Michael Cole call of you know, it's no disqualification in the Elimination Chamber. Anything goes. So the mist is okay. It's like, all right, fine. One of the things I need to mention too, we'll bring it back to the match, but during the entrances, like I know might have not been paying attention because the entrances like went like 20 minutes and they were all taking their sweet time. And there was another Michael Cole call about that. I'm going to be talking a lot about Michael Cole tonight because, oh my God, this guy. But in this case, Rhea Ripley's coming out, right?
Yeah.
She's doing her little entrance, her gimmick and all that. And Michael Cole says, when you Google the word superstar, Rhea Ripley pops up. And I was like, all right, Mr. Cole, I'm going to take you up on that. So I Google searched superstar. That's all I Google searched. And you know what was the first entry? I'm
looking forward to this.
1999 film starring Molly Shannon and Will Ferrell. That was the first thing that pops up when I search up Superstar. A American romantic comedy film and a Saturday Night Live spinoff about quirky, socially inept girl named Mary Catherine Gallagher. I kept scrolling, Lee. I'm like, maybe it's in the first page somewhere. Lee, it doesn't show up. I don't see Rhea Ripley at all.
That's good journalism right there.
Look, I got to do my part. But you can't watch Superstar on Netflix. So maybe if you were wanting to have better things to do than watch the Elimination Chamber, you can watch Superstar on Netflix, which has got a 5.2 and a 33% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not exactly a high bar to cross there when it comes to that. So once again, Michael Cole earning the award that Becky Lynch gave to him of making up facts and telling lies on the broadcast. Unbelievable. I'm like, why would you say that? Like, I thought the way that he was saying that, I was like, wow, is that true? If you search up Superstar, it's like, and it's not there. He was just trying to do when you search up awesome under the word dictionary, the Miz pops up. It was one of those illusions, but he said it so definitively. And I was like, oh, wow, really? Well, that's kind of cool. They're able to do that.
I feel like if the Miz should come up, if I just type in awesome.
Yes.
No, he did not.
So, and then the first elimination, as you mentioned, with Alexa Bliss, geek for Alexa Bliss.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Well, I was disappointed in her.
Yeah.
In doing that. But then it brought me back to, so if I'm Asuka, okay, and my thought is I want to go back to WrestleMania and I want to win this match to be in a main event at WrestleMania, which I've been in before with Charlotte Flair and had an unbelievable match. I want to get back there. So I got this missed and I can do it once in the match. I think I'm going to use it on Alexa Bliss.
Yes.
She's my biggest threat.
Yes.
To getting there.
The one trying to eliminate the other person. Yes. That's the time to do it.
Zach, I just don't like, just from a logic point of view, wouldn't you even be trying to miss, I don't know, Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton?
Yeah.
What? Anybody else?
It's so early in the match.
Yeah.
It's like, were you really that concerned? I guess maybe she was at the end because she didn't last in the final three.
No, she did not. So a little bit of positivity for me before we get back to what actually happened.
Yep.
I was a little bit shocked that Kiana James pinned Charlotte Flair to get into this match. And I didn't think she looked out of place in this match. In fact, I wish she had stayed a little bit longer instead of getting Roman Reigns by Raquel Rodriguez, who we'll get to it in a second, but Raquel Rodriguez ended up pinning both Kiana James and Asuka at the same time, very much like Roman Reigns did with Edge and Daniel Bryan. But I didn't think she looked out of place. And to me, if you're going to build somebody and you're going to do it, I don't want to say matter of factly, but you're not going to go out of your way to push somebody in front of our face, but let them just go out and do it. I don't know. Like, Kiana James to me is more legitimate because of the way that they've used her in the last few weeks.
It's amazing when you have her win her matches. It's like you're focusing on them and you're like, oh, she wins her matches. That must mean she's somebody to look at and see if she can be a star. It's crazy how that works, right, Lee?
Yeah.
Like, wow, she pinned Charlotte Flair. Wow. One of the biggest stars. That must mean a lot. If only this creative team could understand that instead of, having to book 17,000 run-ins in the main event, which we'll talk about. But I thought Kiana James, I didn't think she was outstanding or anything like that. I wasn't exactly watching Akira Hokuto out there, but she was fine. Like she went out there and she did her spots. And
I'm gonna tell you, you have some bad bits on this show, but this is not one of them. Okay. This is not one of them.
Thank you. You thought I was going to go elsewhere with that bit, but no.
I did. Yeah.
I sometimes you got to give you the surprise here. You never know what's going to pop up.
I do.
But no, I mean, she was She was fine. I mean, look, the whole match was just a collection of spots all thrown together. It's every cage match in WWE,
Right.
where it's like, let's do all these spots in the match. That's actually no cohesive points until we actually get to the final two that matter.
And I do find, again, I don't know why, because they're so talented.
Yeah.
I just find in women's wrestling, AEW does the same thing. A lot of their women's matches are like spot, 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 no flow, spot, spot. And it's like, no, I think they're good enough to just let them go out and, be Akira Hokuto. Like,
yeah.
Bull Nakano. Like, just Miami
Jaguar
Toyota.
Yeah, Manabe Toyota. Jaguar Yokota.
Yeah. Like, just let's
Yoko in a way.
Well, you can just see performers. It's like, well, we're going to take the nervousness out for you. So we're just going to have every single little spot planned. And it doesn't come across well. That's all. So I'm not saying Kiana James was Akira Hokuto. Or I'm not, Zach. But I'm just saying they haven't really overbooked her. She went in, she wrestled, she pinned Charlotte Flair. She went in this match. I thought she looked okay. She looked, like part of the group.
Yep.
And for a new performer, like she was definitely, of all the names, she's the one you're like, if you don't watch the product, you're like, who is that?
Yes.
So for her to just sort of hang and not look out of place, I'm trying to find the positives here.
Yes. We are kind of scraping the barrel here to try and find some stuff, but it was funny because I was talking with I have some coworkers that are wrestling fans, and they always ask me, so what do you think is going to happen at the PLE or whatever? And they were looking at the women's one and was like, who's Kiana James? And I was like, well, you were part of the Rumble pool last month, and that's where you saw her in the Rumble.
Yeah.
He was like, she was in the Rumble? Yep. She was number 3. She was the third person out. Clearly left a lasting impact afterwards. But yeah, I know. I thought she was fine. I was a little nervous to see where it would go with her, but she held her own. She was not a weak part of the match. If anything, I thought this is my second favorite match of the night, which is not saying much, but it was my second favorite match of the night.
So yeah, and we'll get to it here in a second, like where I watched it, and so then we get to Raquel Rodriguez, and it's time for her big spots. So then she runs around and does all of her spots, including the, like we said, kind of the slam through the door, the pod door of Asuka, and then having Kiana James in and double pinning them. I'm like, okay, like you're trying to put her over as a monster, and she's going, and I just thought it was way too late in the match for her to start doing that, because it was just a couple of minutes later where, it wasn't a bad spot where like Rhea Ripley kind of comes out of nowhere and does the somersault off of the top rope, and Raquel Rodriguez goes down, and then Tiffany Stratton hits the moonsault, and she's out. But I thought it was way too close together. Like, oh, we're going to put her over as a monster, but we're not going to do it till 10 minutes in the match. And then at the 12-minute mark, we're going to pin her.
Yeah. Well, it's like what Bruce Pritchard said in that Unreal episode, where it's like, you leave them thinking that Bianca or Naomi's not coming back for later in the night to cash in her because she lost. It's the same thing where it's like, oh, it leaves you with this thought that maybe she could pin both of them at the same time to win the Elimination Chamber. I'm so smart because I'm Bruce Pritchard.
So she got pinned.
Yes.
and then
one of the things that impacted this match too, and a lot of the matches, one of my big critiques is there was no heat for any of this. The crowd was just like, this should have been a moment of Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton, two of the bigger stars of the women's division, facing off in the cage, and it got little reaction. The heat was lackluster through a lot of the matches, and I was like, oh, this is not good. And WWE can push their little audience, cheer boo button all they want, but that you could tell like the crowd's just sitting there, and I'm like, there's a part of me that's like, you paid hundreds of dollars, and are none of you going to make any noise? At least get your money, your value's worth. But on the other hand, it's like, how could you possibly get invested in some of this stuff when seems like WWE's creative doesn't even know where it's going in some cases. So yeah, it's just that was one of the big critiques as well. Probably could have gone a little bit over. It probably could have gone over a little bit better, but there was no heat in this at all.
So Tiffany Stratton goes up for the moonsault again. She gets pushed into the pod. Rhea Ripley brings her in. Riptide and Rhea Ripley is your winner, going on to face Jade Cargill at WrestleMania. A couple of things. This is just a quick note.
Mhm.
For as big of a star as Rhea Ripley is, and I do think that she was the right choice to win this. She's so much kind of bigger and stronger than most of the women. And Zach, you're going to have to explain to me that the Riptide move doesn't look all that difficult for a big, strong woman to pick up other women. And every time she does it, it looks like she's struggling and it does not hit properly. Like for her, and as dominant as she is, it's a terrible finisher. And she never is able to pick people up and deliver it properly. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
But so she does it again. I'll ask you, do you think that this is was the proper winner?
Yes. I think this was the correct winner. She needed to get back into the title mix at some point and get back into a prominent spot, and why not do it at WrestleMania? And there is going to be the visual of like a Jade Cargill and a Rhea Ripley face off, so I get what they're doing. It was just kind of funny. They had Jade Cargill up in the crowd, and they had this like awkward camera angle where it was
really
like,
awkward.
It was off to the side, and it was just like, are we not going to get like another shot? That was the best shot we could think of? I know there's a giant cage that's in the middle of the ring, but it was a very awkward shot. And then they had to have Rhea Ripley like point at the sign, then point at her. There's a lot of pointing that goes on in that company because you have to create your viral moment. So you got to point here, you got to point there, you got to point everywhere. You get a point, you get a point. I'm going to point at you. I'm going to point at you. I'm going to Mania. I'm going to the back. I'm facing off against you. I'm going to the ring. I'm going to point at the pod. I'm going to point at this. Like, there's a lot of pointing that goes on in the WWE. Don't point that finger at me.
Right.
Watch your manners there. Like, don't point your finger at me. So, wag your finger.
I guess the point, Zach, of all of this is that
very nice.
Yeah. Rhea Ripley was the right choice, but having her saddled with the tag belt and having to get the tag belt off of her the night before and literally leaving Io Sky in this just weird position of what's happening with her all of a sudden. I would have rather them kept the tag belts and then she gets the chance. And then there's a little bit of tension in the tag belts because Io Sky wants her WrestleMania moment and they got to face, and Rhea Ripley doesn't want to let her down, but she's got to focus on the world title, but she doesn't want to take her focus off of her friend and the tag belts. Like, that's an easier story for me to believe. But no, we just got to get the belt off of Rhea Ripley, and we've left it on them too long. So we'll just do it the night before the pay-per-view and we'll leave Io Sky hanging. It's like they just are ill prepared for everything that they do. And I'm sorry, but this reality show that they have put out to let everybody see is only like backing people up when they say they're not prepared. Right? Like, we can say it, but we never really knew behind the scenes of what actually went on. And now that you see actually what is happening in these creative meetings, you're like, holy bleep. Like, they are as disorganized as ever, and they're showing it to the world.
Yeah.
That they're disorganized.
And we'll talk about that for the main event too, because I got a bigger point with the creative team. But yes, I agree with a lot of what you're saying there.
So I guess I'm just trying to wrap up the fact that I think Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, I understand why they wanted to get there for WrestleMania. Just the visual alone is okay. Look at these women, right? Like,
yep.
And Rhea Ripley's the better wrestler, but Jade Cargill's got the title. Can she get it off of her? I don't really know why Jade Cargill is kind of clapping and
Yeah.
like.
I
is
mean,
she-
all those title defenses that she's had, Lee. I mean, it's going to lead up to this point. Let me check on her title defense. Zero title defenses from Jade Cargill.
yeah, zero. But is she a heel?
Unbelievable.
Is she a face? Like, what is Jade Cargill? She's kind of clapping and smiling.
Yeah.
What? I don't know, but I think it's the right thing. They've booked it terribly, but to have those two women there, I understand the thought. So when I watched this first match, I'll just set this up. When I watched the first match, I'm like, that was bad. Okay.
Yep.
I did not like it at all. I can tell you that for the most of the rest of the night, this match climbed in the rankings without doing anything. Because it was out first, and because of then what came, it shot up the rankings for me as far as how much I liked this match after watching it and going, yeah, I didn't like it.
Yes.
Okay. But based on the rest of the pay-per-view, this match, it's like sometimes when you just sit there and do nothing and you watch everything else crumble around you, people think you're great.
Yeah.
So this ended up happening for me. So then Zach,
After 20 minutes of ads and breaks and all that jazz.
we got Becky Lynch, we got AJ Styles for the women's Intercontinental.
Wait, hold on there. What did you just say there, Lee?
Becky Lynch and AJ Styles for the
AJ Styles. Why were you saying AJ Styles? He's retired now, Lee.
I'm sorry. You know what?
Oh.
That's my fault.
That's okay. Mistakes happen.
No, listen, I apologize.
Yeah,
Michael Cole told me it was Becky Lynch and AJ Styles wrestling for the women's Intercontinental title.
Yes.
I sent you a video of it. I'm like, well, AJ Styles is back, baby. He's back.
Wow. Didn't think he would go after the women's Intercontinental Championship in his first
He might be able to beat Becky Lynch. He might be able to beat Becky Lynch. I know it's a slip of the tongue. I get it. But Michael Cole has too many slips of the tongue.
But it happens all the time.
And AJ Lee has not wrestled a singles match in 10 years, and you're calling her AJ Styles. Come on.
Yep.
Like, I just can't.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
So then, Zach, they get in the ring. I'm going to let you take it. Intercontinental Championship match, AJ Lee, Becky Lynch. What did you think?
This is a worst match of the year contender. I don't know what others are seeing to be like, oh, you know what? I didn't think it was that bad. What match were these people watching? Oh my God. I thought these two, it went long. It just kept going. It was just, AJ Lee cannot bump. Like, oh my goodness. Like some of the bumps, the back bumps she was taking looked rough.
Yeah.
Running the ropes and the gimmicks that were used in the match too. I mean, I thought this was sloppy. And again, like what we saw in the first match, I was shocked that because AJ Lee married to CM Punk and they've been pushing it up on TV, that they both live in Chicago. And so I thought that AJ Lee would get a much bigger reaction than what she got on the PLE. I don't know about you, but I thought it was pretty lackluster compared to what I thought it was going to be.
Yep. So, I mean, at first it came out, it was okay.
Yep.
But it did not last very long.
No. And yeah, there was just a couple of moments of it was pretty clear they kept going to the collar and elbow tie up a lot. And when things are going bad, when something breaks down, that they go back into the collar and elbow tie up. It's like, all right, let's reset things here and then get to the next spot.
Because it's a chance for them to talk, just so that people know.
And then resets and all that. And there were a couple of times that's happened. And of course they had Jessica Carr out there because Becky's got an issue with Jessica Carr. This Becky Lynch gimmick sucks. I can't stand this gimmick. This is the worst work of Becky's career, easily. I just can't. The stuff on Twitter where she's essentially doing a Trump style thing where she's capitalizing words and whatnot. It's so bad, and I find it so cringy. Like it is just, and then this stuff that she's going out there, and like she's not a good. I used to think she was a good trash talker against Ronda Rousey, but I don't know what's happened. But her trash talking is just like garbage.
So I'm with you here, Zach. And there's a lot of people right now that think that she's doing great work. And it boggles my mind. I don't like for her, the ring work is so bad that all of this other stuff is just adding to the car wreck that this is.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why people think it's good. It's not entertaining. It's way over the top. I think you're right. There is some negativity for me because it reminds me of the president.
Mm-hmm.
But it's almost like people are walking around thinking she's got all this heat. No, she's so great and she's elevating the title. And, I hear all this while she's making Maxine Dupree a bigger star. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't get it.
And then, as this match is going along, I know you said like it's got a potential to be that. And I'm like, well, let's hope not.
Yeah.
But again, this goes back to some of our discussion for me on the Unreal series, where Becky Lynch is supposed to be the veteran, supposed to be the person pulling others along because she's in it. She's been there. And look, AJ Lee's been around a long time, but AJ Lee hasn't wrestled in 10 years in a singles match.
Mm-hmm.
So you should have a veteran pulling her along. And every time Becky Lynch gets in these spots, I don't find Becky Lynch to be that leader, that person that is bringing other people along.
She's not a ring general. Like
No.
she's not a ring general at all. I think it's the reverse with her, where it's like, I think if she's in there with another really good wrestler, she can elevate to that spot and be good in the ring. Like the matches with Sasha Banks, Charlotte, like even Bailey to an extent, like I think that's what kind of helped with Becky. The thing that made Becky stand out of the four horsewomen was some of her character work in the past. That's why she was like, at one point, she was the person, not top female star, the top star of WWE for a moment in time, because everything landed with her. And right now, we are a far cry from that era of Becky Lynch. And man, again, this match was just not all of this was on Becky. Like I thought AJ Lee looked rough out there too. Like I did not think she looked great on her bumps, or there was just no fluidity with it. There was a spot in the corner where she's not like fully on the corner buckle, like taking and I'm like, man, like I know she's been out of the ring for 10 years, but also, she did have the tag match beforehand. I remember some of those spots, especially those strikes in the corner where she was doing the overhand chops or whatever. And like, you're in a big spot, singles match for the Intercontinental Women's Championship. And like, this is what you put out. I just, and it wasn't the greatest match, because how many times can you recall the Chicago crowd chanting this, you still got it, to AJ Lee?
Yeah.
And they give those out like candy if you just perform one spot well. And we didn't get it a single time in this match.
Well, and one of the things too, and I know this is back to Becky Lynch, but there was one of these kind of turnaround spot clotheslines. And I don't know what it is with some of the women that are just afraid to hit people at all.
Yeah.
But Zach, I will go back and show you this spot. It's one of the worst clotheslines and sell jobs I've ever seen. Like, it was so terrible.
Was it the one where it's like AJ Lee, like all of a sudden she just kind of stops and then falls down straight down? Yes, I know
because
exactly.
Becky Lynch didn't even really hit her with the clothesline.
No.
And it's like she didn't know what to do, so then she just went down afterwards. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, is it okay to just, like, even if you don't hit the person on the chin with a clothesline, and you hit them kind of in the sternum, you can hit them hard.
Yes.
It's professional wrestling. You can hit them hard enough to actually knock them down.
Yeah. they work light, essentially, is what we're saying here. It's like,
Yes.
we're not saying you got to be Vader levels of stiff and just going overhand
No,
clubs.
it's not Stan Hansen's lariat coming at you.
No, yeah. Thank you for there you go. That's a Zach McGibbon gimmick right there.
Right.
It's not Stan Hansen out there like throwing in the lariat, like, but you can throw it in a little bit. Like, there was a joke at one time that Ricky Morton, like, his punches would land quite good, but you could sell it. And I forget who it was, but they said, "Man, Ricky, your working punches hit harder than your actual punches." Like, the way that, like, he lays it in, like, but it looked good enough where you could say, "Oh wow, he's really landing with those punches." And then obviously Memphis is known for, you know, those great punches, Jerry Lawler and Jeff Jarrett.
But we're not asking
all that.
I'm not asking, you're not asking for this to be that. It's just, could you hit them hard enough that they're going to fall down?
Yeah.
That's
and then
it.
take a flat back bump.
Right. Which everyone's afraid to do now.
I know. And I understand you got to preserve the body and the bump card. Like, we always hear about the bump card and got to be careful. But this is a pay-per-view PLE match. Like, gotta like up the tank a little bit. And that wasn't even like the worst stuff. It was all the stuff involving the referee and all the gimmicks that were involved in this afterwards. Is just, they went to the outside for what felt like forever. And it just, like, there was the initial one where they took the top turnbuckle pad off and, like, all right, here we go. And we're getting into the gimmick spot of the match. They take the top turnbuckle pad off. And then there was this like awkward collision into the corner where the referee also got in the corner. But I guess it wasn't like impactful enough for her to be like knocked out from that corner spot, because she still counted the 3 anyways, like afterwards. And I'm like, look, I know she didn't like land her head or something like that on the exposed turnbuckle, but it's also the referee. And they practically, like, they act like they got shot after one wrestling move, you know? And so, and
which
you're
they
going
did
to
later on after this anyway.
And you already going to do something with the exposed turnbuckle anyways after that. Right. I don't know. Maybe do it to another corner of the ring. That way you don't have that already like in people's minds.
Yeah.
And so they do that. They do the 3 count, and then they do another one. They do this awkward moment where AJ Lee ducks and Becky kicks, right? And again, it just looks sloppy and bad. And Jessica Carr is practically like, it was like she got shot from a cannon, like just like laid out cold, couldn't do anything. Then they all rolled to the outside and they just kept brawling to the outside. And it just felt like forever. And I'm like, what is this all building up to? And then finally it was the slow roll into the ring. And then Becky's like adjusting Jessica Carr and blah, blah, blah. And by the way, I make it sound quicker than what it was. It was like, what, 5-6 minutes that they were outside?
It was forever.
It was
felt forever.
Forever.
Yeah.
Forever. They get back in, Jessica Carr adjusts and then somehow kicks out. And then finally they do the exposed turnbuckle spot where it's like head first. And somehow the crowd got back into this. I don't know how they were able to do that. So I got to give them credit where it's due. I don't know. Maybe the crowd was just trying to amp themselves up at some point because something finally happened in the match. But they got themselves back into it. So I can't fault them for that. But, you know, WWE fans, they'll cheer for anything. But they had the top turnbuckle spot there, and then finally AJ Lee, after all of that, is your new women's intercontinental champion.
Yeah.
So they have the big pyro and she's celebrating off of the corner. And I'm just looking and I was like, man, that was rough. That was just a rough professional wrestling match. And so of course I do the wrong thing and I go on social media and I'm looking, it's like, oh, I got to see what the fans are saying about this one, because this was rough. And then it was like, oh, what a moment for AJ Lee. Oh, 10 years away. What a moment. That's all I read on social media. And I'm like, really? Did we not watch the 20 minutes previous or however long this match was? I don't know. It's all kid gloves with the WWE.
Well, it is. And look, when you're off for that long and you haven't wrestled a singles match in 10 years, to me, you would want to be too stiff. You'd want to work too hard because you haven't been there. And it was the opposite. And it's like people, you talk about the kid gloves, people that have reactions to this match and think it was good, see a couple of the things that AJ Lee probably did 18 million times in training with CM Punk or whoever she trains with. and she pulled off a couple of those moves okay, like she was in training, and people are like, oh, she's back, like she still got it. It's like, no, like all of the stuff in between is the stuff that matters. It's the taking of the back bumps.
Yep.
It's the actual selling. So, and now they've put themselves into a corner with this Intercontinental title because, Zach, there's no way they're doing anything else other than Becky Lynch and AJ Lee again at WrestleMania, right? Like, there's no way.
Yeah,
What else?
Running it back like the Jey Uso run it back. We're having it at Mania, you know.
Well,
the Intercontinental belt.
Didn't have Jey Uso run it back at the show, so
well, thankfully, because I said on the last show we did the preview before they took Jey Uso out of the match. I said if Jey Uso won the Elimination Chamber, I'm quitting This Is Wrestling and never reviewing wrestling ever again.
But you didn't get a chance to win.
Yeah, Paul Levesque heard that. I was like, no, brother, you're gonna suffer through my booking much longer than this. So we'll give you this little thing about Jey Uso coming out, which was awesome. I loved it.
Okay, so we got a new women's Intercontinental champion in AJ Lee. I don't know where else she could possibly go other than defend against Becky again at WrestleMania, but I guess we will see. So out next, CM Punk and Finn.
Before that, we got a tease of the box for a little bit. Wait, wasn't the box reveal, but we got a tease of the box.
A tease of the box.
And it was Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, the GMs for their respective brands, and they're looking at this box, and R-Truth comes in, and he's like, I think I know what's in that box. And it's like, oh yeah. It's like, oh yeah. And then it somehow turned into a Papa John's ad for like a minute. And I was like, oh, that's our tease. At that moment, the reason why I bring it up is because at that moment, any possibility that I had is like, maybe it's Chris Jericho.
Right.
Went out the door.
Gone.
Went absolutely out the door. Because R-Truth is there hawking Papa John's pizza.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, it's so good. Look at the box that it comes in. Look at this slice of pizza. And I'm like, I know you've already sold the hell out of the ads on this show here, but I'm getting another ad in front of the box. I'm like, okay, it's definitely not Chris Jericho. If there's anything I know about Chris Jericho, he's not going to be used for product placement.
Yep.
And so that was our tease of the box. I'm like, all right, I guess we're not getting the reveal of who or what is in the box until a little bit later.
So then, of course, in the middle of the pay-per-view, before the box and before the men's Elimination Chamber match, we get a world title match with CM Punk defending the World Heavyweight Championship, the same one that is probably going to be the main event of WrestleMania on night 2. So like the main top match that you can possibly have. So why not defend this title in the middle of a non-important pay-per-view?
Yep, exactly.
In Chicago. So just run it out in the middle, because AJ Lee and CM Punk have to get home. So I guess we'll just put them out back to back.
Yep.
And then we'll get a nice little moment after.
Yeah.
But look, Zach, CM Punk and Finn Balor at least went out and had a decent match for the World Heavyweight title. I hate saying that a regular wrestling match that doesn't have an insane amount of run-ins and gimmicks and everything else is the best match by far. But when you just let two guys who are halfway decent, even though they're getting older in their time, that still care about going out and providing a good wrestling match for the wrestling fans who paid a lot of money to go to a wrestling show.
Yep.
I don't know if you had it like on a WrestleMania card of years past that this would be one of the matches that stood out, but with the rest of the night and what happened,
yes,
I give both of them, like, this was just a good wrestling match between two guys who have been at it for a long time and actually care about their craft.
Yeah, two solid pro wrestlers having a solid pro wrestling match.
Yeah.
And amazingly, that was the best part of the show. What a shock.
Yeah, but by far.
And easily. Yeah. Easily the best match. I also enjoyed again, something different from WWE. I wasn't expecting them to do this, but they had a specialized entrance for CM Punk. And now usually I'm not the guy that's like, wow, an entrance, but this entrance was
it was cool.
Was pretty cool. It was inspired by the 90s Bulls. They had the PA announcer introduce CM Punk to the ring. I thought that stuff was pretty cool. I'm like, I wish they could do more of that stuff. That would be cool.
Do you know who? I'm sure you do. Do you know who used that theme?
It was Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Serious.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Right.
It was awesome when he came out to that, but certainly made famous by the Chicago Bulls, as you said. And look, he's doing the hometown pump it up thing, but I thought it was awesome. Like,
yeah, it was great. I loved it.
It was different.
It was easily one of the highlights for me of the show. And and again, one of the highlights for me was an entrance. Not exactly high praise.
And he had some Chicago Blackhawk trunks on.
Yep. Like he knew the crowd that he was playing to. And so that was the first time he was in the Allstate Arena since he debuted for AEW, which little did I know what would happen years after that when I was reacting to his debut and whatnot. But there was a moment where I almost had tears in my eyes that Punk had come back, and there was a fan that had the tears in his eye. Now I have tears in my eye, but that's just from watching the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
Again, but to get back to this match, I can't pick apart. It wasn't like the greatest wrestling match in the history of wrestling, no. but with what happened the rest of the night, it was good. They tried hard.
Yep. No, they two pros going out there and having a pro wrestling match. There was really not much else I could say. Like what you mentioned, it wasn't Flair and Steamboat out there.
No,
this was just a solid pro wrestling match. If this was like an 8-match card, this would be like mid to upward, best part of the show. But because it's a 4-match card, this is the best part of the show. And they went out there for 20 minutes and just, I thought it was well worked. I have always said this about CM Punk. While he's not the most athletic guy in the world, and he would tell you that too, what makes him stand out is his mind and how he puts together a pro wrestling match and knowing what his limitations are and saying, okay, I know I can't do this, but I can accentuate this. And looking at his opponent and saying, okay, I know this guy can do this, so I'm going to make sure I can do this with him, right? And so I thought this was a solid pro wrestling match. This was like a 3.5. This was your bang average 3.5, like 3.5 good pro wrestling match.
Yeah. One of the things I didn't like, just a little thing, but when Finn Balor hit the coup de grace on CM Punk after going for the pin, he like hooked a leg and then with the other hand started like pointing like 1, 2, like I got him.
Yeah.
And it's like, Finn, you haven't won a world title in 10 years. You haven't even been important on the card. You're wrestling CM Punk, the world heavyweight champion, that you forced your way in. You got a match in Chicago, all of that stuff. Could you just pretend like you're trying to win instead of like putting your hand up and counting and then being shocked that you didn't get them?
Yeah. I would just be happy that we can move on from just shocked faces in general in pro wrestling. It's so overdone.
Yeah.
Where they're like, the kicks out of 2 of the, I can't, like the mouth agape, eyes wide open. I can't believe the opponent had kicked out of my move.
And one of the best things about watching wrestling from other companies, especially in years past, I always loved this about Japan, was that when guys would hit their finishers and they didn't get them, they'd go right back and try and do something else and do 3 or 4 or 5 more moves, because it's not the shock. They're just pissed that they didn't get them. So they're going to actually try and, if you can believe this, Zach, they're going to try and do more to win the match.
That's right.
Because they didn't get them.
You had messaged me recently saying that you had recently watched Jun Akiyama versus Mitsuharu Misawa.
I did. I just watched it the other day.
Was that the match in Noah where Akiyama beat Misawa so they were trying to make him be the face of Noah at that time? Yes, the match in 2001, when you said that, I was like, people need to watch that match. That's them trying to put a guy, and it's classic of like what you just said. It's like, my guy kicked out. I'm close to winning this thing. I just need to hit a couple more moves and I can win. And so go after him. Don't just stand there. Do something, But in WWE, it's the opposite. It's stand there, don't do something, act shocked.
Give them a moment.
Again?
Yeah.
It's like, but it's the mindset, right? Because that mindset is an athlete's mindset of I'm so close to winning, we're gonna go for the kill shot. But the I gotta stall and pose and whatnot, that's the entertainment mindset that WWE has. So you see it so much in there, and I see it on the indies too. And I try and tell guys, it's like try not to do the over crazy, mouth agape, thing, because it's so overdone. You want to make yourself stand out on the indies? Don't be like everybody else that does it in WWE. Try and do it where you try and have the match continue on, because you've got the fans locked in, and you could build off of that energy.
So the point, and it's a really good point, Zach, and I know we're getting a little off topic here, but this is well worth it to be able to tell wrestlers or like, so when you were watching that match and Finn Balor hit the coup de grace, as a fan, did you think he was winning the title?
No.
Of course not. So if the fans don't believe you're winning the title, doing that shock and awe thing is not only not going to work, it's going to work against you because you look like an idiot.
Yep.
It's when, like, to me at that point, if Finn Balor had have got up and hit like 2 more sling blades, went up to the top, hit the coup de grace again, said, you know what? I'm not done here. I'm actually going to drag him over, and then I'm going to go to the other side. I'm going to hit an incredible move, whatever that is, and hit a 3rd coup de grace and like be working, and then, hook both legs and get up on it. And if you don't get him at that point, like if the fans don't think that there's a possibility of you winning, this stupid shock and awe face works against you.
Yep.
The only time you can do that where it's going to be effective is if the fans truly believe that you're going to get them. Right?
Yep.
And so unless you do that, it's incredible to me. So I love when wrestlers get up and don't, like, they hit their finisher, they don't get them, and they go right back and hit 4 more moves.
Yeah.
Right afterwards, because as you said, they're close, they can feel it, and it's the opposite in WWE.
Yeah.
It's give them a moment.
Yeah. TikToks, Instagram Reels, social media engagement. That's all it is. We got to talk about this reveal of the box.
But it's time to get to the reveal of the box. The crate is out. There's Aldis. There's Adam Pearce. They got the crowbars. And the box comes down. And Zach, is it a coffin? They both look at each other. Is this a coffin? And instead of going inside the box to kind of peel off the next layer of the box, they just back away and leave.
Yep. Well, there was smoke, a little bit of smoke coming out of the coffin too. So they were like, whoa, this might be a fire hazard here. We don't want to get involved with this.
No, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, so they Michael Cole is finally like, it's time to reveal what's in the box. And the lights go dark. I'm like, all right, here we go. The lights are dark. How are they going to pay off weeks of build for this box? And we've heard so much. I've even mentioned on this show of, as soon as you come out of a box, Lee, it's the famous Jim Cornetteism. Once you come out of a box, you're instantly over.
Yeah.
I want you to keep that thought in your head.
Okay.
As we review this debut of this person that came out of the box. And so they get the crowbar, they lift up the box, and then the entrance comes down. There's the coffin, as you mentioned. There's a little bit of smoke coming out of there. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. We're in the box, a literal box of gimmicks now of what's going on. A little bit of smoke, and as you mentioned, Aldis and whoa, there's smoke. We gotta
get out of here.
Gotta hit the hit. Is there a fire extinguisher somewhere? Like maybe they're thinking about that. It's like, and plus it's a wooden box, right? Like the box catch on fire. Yep. Like they've got to be wary of that. Then the coffin flings open, and then you hear It's a classic WWE theme song trope of "You are cursed," and then it goes into the music, and I'm like, oh, here we go. I was like, I was thinking it was him, and then I heard the song. I was like, oh my gosh, they built weeks of TV for Danhausen. Danhausen coming out of the box. But it wasn't just Danhausen that came out of the box.
No, it was not.
The box, which I guess could also, act as a clown car too, because there was they had these female dancers with Danhausen's face paint on it, and they were doing this like weird little dance, and they were just dancing coming out of the box, and there was another one, there's another one. It's like, how deep is this box? Is this the TARDIS from Doctor Who? Like, how can you fit so many people into this box? So they all start running out of the box, and then finally it's Danhausen with his little cape. He's like, I'm Danhausen. And like, I'm looking across and I'm like, weeks of build for Danhausen. And I don't mind, I know this might be a shocking take, but I don't mind Danhausen as a lower mid-card guy. But boy, you made this a central focus of your TV for weeks. And it's Danhausen. And he's coming out, he's like, I'm Danhausen. Hey, I'm Danhausen. And then walking down the ramp, and the camera's doing all this. And there was the initial pop, right? Because there's always going to be initial pop when you come out of a box. And then it starts to like quiet down because the fans realize, oh my God, we paid $800 to get into the building to see Danhausen be revealed as the person in the box.
Then he gets to the ring.
Yeah. Well, he goes to Michael Cole and Wade Barrett, and they all look like astonished. They're like, who is this guy? How is this? And then Danhausen gives the teeth, right?
Yeah.
He gives the teeth gimmick. And then Wade Barrett's like, who is this guy? I don't know who this guy is. And then Danhausen gets to the ring. They're all doing the dance. And there was a thing of smoke. And then it went dark. And then the crowd booed.
So awesome. First of all, the
smoke.
So they're doing this choreographed routine in the ring. And I texted you as this was going on, going, I can only imagine in rehearsal, no one else is allowed in the arena, but let's do this. Let's get this right. And they do the rehearsal and they watch that and go, guys, we got him. That was awesome.
Oh, I'm just trying to think of Triple H, like explain the entrance. All right, so you're coming out of the box, right? And then you look across, and you're like, you do the bleeping, this, and then you go out, you're like, you're Danhausen, right? Like you go out there, you like,
I can't wait for Unreal. I can't wait for the behind the scenes of how this all got put together.
Oh, so
and
good.
Then to watch it play, I can't wait. So as you said, they're doing this choreographed routine. It is one of the most idiotic, dumbest things I've ever watched. And then as they go to this wide shot, they turn the lights off. Poof.
Yeah.
Everybody's gone.
Yeah. And the crowd booed.
And there's this kind of silence, and the crowd then starts booing. And my favorite part of all of it is at that point they cut back to Michael Cole and Wade Barrett on camera.
Yes.
For Michael Cole to go, what the hell was that? And I'm thinking, yes, Michael, you have finally captured what everybody is thinking.
Oh my God.
I know you didn't do it on purpose because you're trying to play in the gimmick. I'm like, oh my God, I'm scared. Oh, like, what the hell was that?
This is a very evil, very nice person that's coming out there and greeting you.
I have teeth in a jar. Like, what?
Is there garlic in here? What's going on?
But him saying, what the hell was that? Was what every person was actually thinking.
Yes. The crowd booing was just the cherry on top. Because they were just like, after all these weeks of build and the money that they must have spent, They already went through 3 matches where, like, this is not exactly lighting my socks on fire here. Boy, we're going to find out what's in this box. It's just this guy. I'm sure some of them have not watched AEW. Even if you watch AEW, it wasn't like Danhausen was such a prominent part of the program.
No.
And so he just comes out of this box. Imagine, like, that's the first time you saw Danhausen. Like, that's the very first time. Like, how else are you going to react to that?
Most people, even as wrestling fans, like if you're listening to this right now, think about a Danhausen match that you loved.
Hard to think of one.
Right. So
it's all gimmick.
Even wrestling fans are like, yeah, I kind of know the gimmick, but in the ring, I don't really know. And again, so then they cut back and there was this camera angle that I'm like, is that Nick Khan and his son sitting front row?
Oh, I didn't see this.
Oh, yes.
I was still dying of laughter from the booing.
So like Nick Khan and his son were sitting right where the wrestlers come out when they get to the ring. He was sitting on the right in the first row, like right where the intersection of the corner is. And I'm like, oh my God. Is Nick Khan watching this going, this is really good?
I am the CEO of this wrestling company. I oversee all of this.
This is, folks, this was in, and I don't think we're giving enough credit. Like I get in the next match, the mystery man came out again.
Oh yeah, I got a lot to say about that one.
But I do want to go back to the Friday Night SmackDown again for them to have, after like weeks and months of masked men coming out and attacking the top heel group in the company and the vision. On Friday night, they got the guy and it was just a guy.
Just a guy.
Like literally, you would never know him. And even by going on like wrestling sites to find out who this was, you're like, oh, well, he was a Seth Rollins guy, trained him. Like,
which should have been an indicator of who the masked guy was if it's a Seth Rollins trainee.
Right. But they didn't explain that to you. You had to go and find it because on SmackDown, they're just like, we don't know who this is. It's just a guy.
It was just a guy.
After weeks and months of television, it's just a guy. And then the very next day, again, another mystery of weeks on television about this mystery box. And this is what you come up with. It's going to be one of the greatest times to watch Unreal ever.
Yes.
Like back to back Friday and Saturday night. Let's reveal this guy to just be a guy. And then let's bring out Danhausen this way. Like
I need to call out your guy, Bully Ray, though. I mean, I don't know if you saw his tweet recently.
I didn't.
So your guy, Bully Ray, I'm still trying to wrap my head around you listening to Busted Open. I've made my feelings be known about that program. But Bully Ray goes on Twitter, is like, WWE didn't set the expectations of what was in the box. It was the fans and the dirt sheets that set the expectations of what's in the box. Bully, let me talk to you real quick here, okay? Mr. Sirius XM radio host, okay?
So
here's the problem here, Mr. Booker, that failed out of Ring of Honor because he thought, let's bring Enzo and Cass to the work rate promotion. That sounds like a smart idea. This guy, Bully Ray. Let me tell you something here, Bully, about why you can't just blame this on fan expect. First of all, when you're doing a mystery angle, how many times in a mystery angle do fans' minds wander? They go, oh, who's available right now? Oh, I've heard this guy's contract is coming up. You can't get mad at the fans for having these expectations if you're going to do a mystery angle and the dirt sheets and all that. And number two, Bully, let me tell you something. They have been promoting this on their programming as a featured part of their programming for weeks. You can't just go, oh, the fans set this expectation. They did. WWE set this expectation. And now you're acting shocked because it's Danhausen that comes out of the box. They're like, why aren't the fans getting why are the fans not because it's Danhausen. It's an undercard guy. And you promoted this box as a main event feature throughout their weeks of programming, both on Raw and SmackDown. And it's an undercard guy that they revealed in Danhausen. And somehow Dan and Bully Ray as well said, I always thought that Danhausen was underutilized. What can you do with Danhausen? He can't have him put into the world title picture. He's a lower card guy. Bully Ray. I mean, this guy.
Maybe he sent the tweet out to get under people's skin like you, and he knew what he was doing.
He's trying to work me, brother. He was trying to get his heat.
Well,
we could listen to his program.
It's not a great take. And I have found a little bit. I have found that since Bully Ray has been doing more things with the WWE on LFG and just he's getting worse. And he didn't used to be like that. And now he is a little bit more. But
I just saw the take and it just like, I'm like, really? You're going to put this back on the fans?
So let's get to the main event.
All right.
Because this has been an atrocious pay-per-view so far. But here comes the main event. It's the men's elimination chamber with the right to face Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania for the title. I'll give them credit that in a match like this, it wasn't just same old with the people who were entrants, because you did have Javon Evans in it. You did have Trick Williams in it.
Or Mark Nash got the Michael Cole effect because he called Javon Evans Javon Williams in his entrance. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't.
No, he accidentally said, he went from North Carolina, it's Javon Williams. And then Michael Cole on commentary, that's Javon Evans that's out there for the WWE.
Geez.
And I'm like, it's the Michael Cole effect hitting Mark Nash. Nobody is safe from calling the wrong name.
Oh my God. Really? That's not great.
Whoops.
And then of course, Cody Rhodes, and you have Logan Paul, and you have Randy Orton, and who am I missing? Of course, Mr. Slip Off the Top Rope, L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
So I give them a little bit of credit because they stuck two guys in this chamber that old WWE wouldn't have done. After this, Zach, I don't even know where to
that a cage is supposed to leave people out. I think we've talked about this on the show multiple times. That a cage is supposed to leave people out.
Mm-hmm.
Lee, how many run-ins were in this main event?
I can't even with this match. Like I don't even know where to start.
I mean, there was so much overthinking of this. So, I mean, first of all, you have Logan Paul eliminating Javon Williams and Trick Williams and who was the other person he eliminated? LA Knight, I think it was.
Yeah.
He eliminated. So he eliminated those three. And so after those three eliminations, all of a sudden, you get this masked person coming out. I'm like, all right, here we go. The masked person is coming out. And he goes in and he's, trying to get the referee's attention. It's the perfect timing, right? Because all these guys have just got eliminated. And they have to open the door to get the people out of the elimination chamber cage, right?
Right.
The cage that is designed to leave people out. Just a reminder.
Yeah.
So the door is open and then they catch the guys. All the officials are out there. But these officials forgot to close the door. They forgot to close the door.
Sometimes
so we had
happens.
The initial masked man that was revealed. It was another guy. It was just another guy this time. We had the first one, which was just a guy. Then the second one, we had just another guy that had come out and run roughshod interference, and commentary is like, oh, this is just another guy. These very competent WWE officials left the door open as they're bringing the just another guy out. And then it's another masked person. And I was like, oh, come on. So we got another masked person that runs in. And this time he does all of Seth Rollins' signature moves again. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. This is probably the guy that's out there. And weeks and months, technically, of build of who is under the mask, who's the one attacking the Vision, who's the one that's been going out there. Oh my gosh, you're not going to believe it. The guy that does all of Seth Rollins' signature moves and Seth Rollins' finisher, it's Seth Rollins that's under the mask. What? No way.
Tell me you're going to talk about Michael Cole here at this point.
You tell me. I was so tuned out of just frustration at this point.
He called this the surprise of the century.
Oh, I missed that.
Zach, the surprise of the century.
Really?
That's how Michael Cole described the masked person being Seth Rollins at the end of all of this. After for months, this masked person or people have been doing all of Seth Rollins' moves.
Yes. Really could have been anybody, Lee.
This was the surprise of the century. I thought, oh God, Zach's just going to have a field day with this one.
Oh, geez.
Like,
so we had the surprise of the century. We had the ruse of the century. We had the cash-in of the century. No matches of the century, if you've noticed. But we've had all these other things that were of the century. And so Seth Rollins comes in. It looks like they're setting up a Logan Paul program of some sort, I guess. And you could hear Paul Heyman on the hot mic, by the way, be like, no, how can it be? No, like he's just selling this, and I'm like, Paul, come on, man. Even you should know. Is like, add two and two together here, Paul.
Yeah.
Wow, the guy I screwed. Like, I know he's a heel, and I know, like, in the history of pro wrestling, heels have to be dumb. But there is also the thing of like, come on, Paul, you screwed over that guy, and the guy that's now in the ring is doing all the moves of the guy you screwed over. You got to add two and two together at some point and figure out, maybe this is Seth Rollins that's coming. I don't know, but Paul is just screaming, right? He's like, no, this can't be. No. It just, it's grating to my ears. And so finally, Logan Paul comes out. But Lee, the door. Not one of these WWE do your jobs. Close the door. Close it. You've had 2 run-ins in your cage match that's supposed to keep people out. Do your job. They can't do their job.
I'm just picturing again, WWE Unreal in the creative room. We're going to get the first mask guy down. How are we going to do it? But then we've got Seth Rollins actually coming down, and we're going to do the big reveal. How are we going to get him in there? Oh, but then we got to get Drew in there.
Yes.
So how are we going to do it? How about, guys? Let's just leave the door open.
Just keep the door open.
Like for this elimination chamber.
Somebody do their job and close the door. Close it. But Drew McIntyre also decided this was his time to run in. Everybody's just deciding to run in at this point. So Drew McIntyre comes in, and I thought it's like, oh, okay, they're doing the Cody Randy Orton thing. We're going to get this big tease, whatnot, and then we're going to finally have Cody pin Orton. But this is the WWE. I always forget about this. This is the WWE, and we cannot just have a clean finish where a guy goes over. We have to set up controversy and BS. And so Drew McIntyre runs in, and then he delivers the Claymore. It's a Cody. And then I think he also delivered it to Orton at some point. There was some sort of schmoz. And then they finally get Drew McIntyre out. So your geek of a world champion is knocked out. Your world champion that's running in to make sure he doesn't have a challenger. What a great gimmick to have. And so finally we have our final 2 in the ring. And I'm like, oh, well, this is going to be weird how they set up Orton and McIntyre. I guess we'll find. Oh no, was I wrong? Oh, Randy Orton hits the RKO and he hooks the leg. Pin 1, 2, 3.
No.
And in the year of our Lord 2026, Randy Orton is winning contendership matches to challenge for the title at WrestleMania in 2026.
So I just want to put a couple of things here in perspective. Earlier this week, ESPN, I thought, did a really, really good job this week at having all of their guys and girls on. Like they were everywhere this week. You know, with a big hub in Chicago, that's easy. But Cody Rhodes was on, and CM Punk was on, and I saw Logan Paul. I saw some of the women on, but Randy Orton was on, and during one of Randy Orton's appearances this week, he was asked about like his longevity, and well, Randy Orton hurt both shoulders really bad when he was in his 20s, and he wanted this life since he was a kid. And Randy Orton was like, what can I do to elongate my career? Which I guess, like, you know, I understand. You want to be in the business, you got to do something to continue to be in the business. And then joked that he really hasn't picked anybody up in 20 years. I sent it to you.
I know. I know.
Sent it to you, and that was your response. Yes, Randy, we've noticed.
Oh, trust me, Randy. Oh, I know. I've noticed.
So, like, he literally hasn't picked anybody up in 20 years and is admitting this on national television. That's the guy that we need in the main event at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
We need that guy. So, but look, we need to talk about this, and the show is getting elongated ourselves here. We need to talk about, so Randy Orton wins.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous, but Randy Orton wins the Elimination Chamber. But it doesn't stop there, Zach.
No.
Because Drew McIntyre has pissed off Nick Aldis so badly that Nick Aldis goes on the post game and starts yelling and screaming. And Zach, Randy Orton wins the opportunity to wrestle for the championship after getting through 5 other guys in the Elimination Chamber, regardless of how he got through. Earned his way into the chamber, won the chamber match. And now Nick Aldis is so frustrated that he just gave Cody Rhodes a title match on Friday Night SmackDown coming up against Drew McIntyre. Just gave it to him.
Yep.
Cody lost. Wasn't able to get it done.
Yeah.
The reward for not being able to get it done on the pay-per-view. Title match coming up Friday night.
Of course. Why not? And you know what? At this point, give it to Logan Paul as well. I mean, he got screwed. Yep. Somebody ran into his match, so he gets a title shot too. Why not?
Yep. Why not?
Why not?
Okay, so somewhat seriously, I will ask you, like, this pay-per-view was just a colossal disaster.
Yeah.
It was a colossal disaster.
Just not a good show.
Like, one of the worst shows I have watched in a long time. Like, it was just, if it wasn't for Punk and Balor, and then, like I said, Zach, I didn't like the women's match. I thought it was too spotty. I thought it was slow at points. But as the night went along, I'm like, I got to readjust my expectation because the women's match looks a lot better at this point than some of the other things that happened on the show.
Absolutely.
Like, so let's talk now about what they're actually going to do at WrestleMania. The first thing I will ask you is, who do you think Randy Orton faces at WrestleMania?
I think he'll face off against Drew, but I also think he'll face off against Cody. And I also think he'll face off against Jacob Fatu.
So a 4-way match?
Yeah.
Okay. So while I don't disagree that that's probably the best way to go, do you think that match sells more? Not to you. I'm going to ask you to remove yourself from this.
I was going to say no, but yes.
I'm going to ask you to try to think like a WWE fan and say,
that's a cruel punishment you got to lay on me, but I'll try.
I know. We need Le Champion over here. We need JD
like a
over
WWE
here.
Fan right now. Seeing it on screen. I'm thinking like a WWE fan right now.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Eating.
Yeah.
Like,
just me, Oos.
That's my biggest question coming out of Elimination Chamber is Like, what's Jey Uso doing at WrestleMania now? Like,
I could care less what he does. He could
but
be
you're
off the
still
card for all I care.
you're still yeeting. So
That's
you kind
right.
of got me.
Sorry, WWE fan. What's he gonna do? I don't know. What's the moment? What's he gonna have his moment? At
I'm
WWE?
feeling I'm feeling oozy with you doing this. This is good. Okay, so do you think that's possible that Cody wins the title on Friday night and we
Yes.
get Cody and Randy one-on-one?
Yes.
So do I.
Yes.
I really do believe that because I'm not sure that the four-way sells as much as Randy and Cody, even though I would hate Randy and Cody. Like,
Yeah.
I would personally hate it.
You don't want
But
to
I'm
see
not-
Randy Orton go after his 15th world title?
So
Out
Randy
of all
Orton
those
wins.
title reigns, what's your favorite one, Lee?
What's my favorite one?
Was it the 7th one or maybe the 10th one? I don't know.
It was probably the first one with the thumbs up and then the thumbs down.
Right. Oh, yes. Yeah, the beats person who shall not be named at SummerSlam 2004 or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Chris Benoit. But yeah.
Just totally blowing up my gimmick there. That's okay.
I know. But that's Chris Benoit and thumbs up, thumbs down, and losing it very quickly after that. So
yeah,
that's probably my favorite Randy Orton reign.
And then it all happened after that, of course.
So I would have to have a lot explained to me how a guy, even though I dislike Randy Orton, watching him in 2026 more than almost anything, watching him wrestle is just painful. But I would have to have it explained to me how Randy Orton wins the Elimination Chamber and Cody Rhodes loses the Elimination Chamber. Jacob Fatu wasn't even in the Elimination Chamber. And those two are also going to get title shots that are going to be exactly the same as Randy Orton's title shot at WrestleMania. I would really need that explained to me. And it would then sully, not that they care about this, but the Elimination Chamber would mean a lot less to me at that point, because if you win, then other people who don't deserve it are just going to be thrown in a four-way with you anyway. So winning the Elimination Chamber doesn't really mean a whole lot if you don't stick to win it. It's like the Royal Rumble, right? Like winning the Royal Rumble, you get your shot at the title. And if you don't do that, then it takes away from the prestige of those events. Can you see Drew McIntyre and Nick Aldis at WrestleMania?
Oh, as a one-on-one match?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And my question to you asking that is that then could you see Jacob Fatu and Sami Zayn?
That one I would look forward to. I would look forward to a Jacob Fatu Sami Zayn match.
If you did the four-way, I'm not sure what you're doing with Sami Zayn, and you're actually building Sami Zayn up in the last little bit to be this, like, he's been in the main event. Cody Rhodes told him, like, you know, to kind of go to hell, and he got taken advantage of, right? He was even on ESPN saying, like, I didn't do anything wrong. The bell hadn't rung, and I took advantage of a situation and beat Sami Zayn to get in here, right? And then that's exactly so they're playing out that's exactly what Randy Orton did. Like, what Cody Rhodes did to Sami Zayn is what Randy Orton did to Cody Rhodes. It's exactly the same. I don't think Sami Zayn's going to be out of the title picture. I think he's going to kind of have his nose somewhere in there. So are they going to do a five-way? Could they even do a six-way? Like a
let's
ladder.
just do an 8-way. How about an 8-way?
but like a
10-way.
6-man ladder match for the title or something like that. Could they do that?
Man, you say ladder match and that scares me, but
Well, how many other ladder match? We have to have a ladder match at
Of course,
WrestleMania.
we can't just.
And how many
just
ladder
get
matches
rid of
are
them all.
there?
None announced right now.
No. I guess I'm saying to you that I'm not sure that Sami Zayn's out of the title picture. And if you did the four-way, where does that leave Sami Zayn? And it does look like, with the way that they're doing it, that Nick Aldis is going to get involved. And so, I don't know, maybe you get Drew McIntyre one-on-one against Nick Aldis. Have Cody go up against Randy, and then Sami Zayn gets Jacob Fatu? Or do you just kind of stick them all together? I'd be really surprised if Drew McIntyre held onto the title on Friday night and it was just Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton in a main event at WrestleMania. I'd be shocked.
Yeah,
because
it's not going to be Drew, Randy Orton one-on-one at Mania. I'd be shocked at that. If it is, I would be. If I'm a WWE fan, I would be very upset that is one of my marquee matches I have to look forward to for WrestleMania.
But didn't you just say that that's what you thought was going to happen?
I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be
the four-way.
Four-way, yeah. Like the way that it played out on the post game show, it's like, okay, well, we're not doing the one-on-one. At first, I thought we were going to get McIntyre Orton. I'm like, really? We're going to go forward with the Orton 15th title program? But then we saw the stuff on SmackDown, or the post game that sets up the SmackDown, and I'm like, okay, well, this is definitely not setting up one-on-one. Then, like, this is setting up for a four-way of some, or a multi-person match of some sort. So
again, you're going to have to explain to me how Jacob Fatu and Cody Rhodes, if he doesn't win the title on Friday, are going to get themselves into a four-way match.
Well, Lee, they got to do what every WWE wrestler does, and that's run into the main events and get themselves involved, take out the competitors, and then Aldis says, look, you run in, I need some order here, so I'm going to put you in the title match because clearly you want this title.
But then Randy Orton would say, I just won the Elimination Chamber.
Oh, well, you know what? That's too bad. Should have thought about running into your main event match. You have to make it so difficult for yourself. That's how we do it in the WWE.
Imagine him saying that. Imagine him saying that. Like, right? You should have gone about it a little bit smarter. You should have just run in and attacked somebody.
Do Randy Orton too would be hilarious. You know, it's like, should have went about this smarter. You know, it should have, like, why are you risking yourself for this? You got to find a smarter way. It's like, oh yeah, I'm Randy Orton. Usually I do find shortcuts to get to my matches, get through my matches. Oh yeah, of course. Oh, silly me. I'm a 20-year veteran. I should have known this.
Okay, so if you think it's the four-way, where do you think Sami Zayn is at all at WrestleMania? Because I ask that because he has been featured.
Yep,
it's not like they've left him out. Where do you think it leaves him if those four are wrestling for the title? And why would Drew McIntyre and Nick Aldis, who are like literally now going after each other, Nick Aldis would just be on the side, not doing anything, go, haha, I got the last laugh. I'm putting you in a four-way. I booked you and now I've cost you the title. I don't know where it leaves Sami Zayn.
Yeah. You know, he could get inserted. You know, that could be one of those selling points like, oh, you've seen a triple threat. You've seen a fatal four-way. You've seen a 6-person match. But we very rarely see the 5-person match. Whoa, and that's happening at WrestleMania. Like, could they sell that as like, oh, it's a match, it's 5 people, so it's a Pentagon match or something like that. And then Octagon is just out there. Or sorry, Penta Junior's out there.
I was just gonna say, here comes Penta.
Yeah,
saying,
like,
well, if it's
like,
a
whoa, this is my gimmick here, brother. What are we doing here?
Pentagon match. I feel like I should be in that one.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder whether they're just going to do Cody and Randy and think that that's big.
I think that is big for enough WWE fans. If I put on my WWE hat, but not too long.
Yeah.
Like, don't put on my WWE hat too long because then I just start eating all over the place. But yeah, I could see that. I think that's big enough for a lot of WWE fans. It's like, oh, Cody's a big star and it's Randy Orton going after the 15th world title. And there's a story there. I don't love there's a story there argument. It's like, well, yeah, there's a story. That doesn't mean it's a good story.
It's
but
not a good story.
it's like, wow, do I really need to see Randy Orton with the world championship for a 15th time? I just,
I don't need to
but
see Randy Orton in a main event at WrestleMania at all.
yeah, period. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
So
Can't wait for the power slam and can't wait for the stomps and can't wait.
I'm a little confused as to where they're going with this because Randy Orton in a one-on-one situation at WrestleMania, I don't think he can do it.
Do you feel like there's a plan here, Lee? Like, this is going to be my overall thing. Do you feel like WWE creative knows where they're going next? Like, does it feel like they have a handle of what's coming up at WrestleMania? Because after this show, I'm like, I don't think they have any clue of what they really want to do. Like, I think they have ideas, but they don't feel set in stone. It feels very open-ended.
The only answer I can give to you about something that if I put on my hat and I'm in the room, that they think is Cody and Randy is big enough to sell. And if they go away from that, then it's going to be that they're undecided. Is it a 4-way? Is it a 5-way? Is it a 6-man ladder match? And we throw Nick Aldis in there somehow. And people think Nick Aldis is actually going to win the title at one point in the match. Like,
that would be
Nick Aldis,
like he did in the NWA.
Nick Aldis wins the title or forms a group. Like, I don't know. But so the answer is, my belief, if I'm in the room, is that they're going with Cody and Randy. And they've just given Cody this match, which is not fair to Drew. And Cody's going to beat him, and Drew's going to be really pissed off, and Drew's going to want some sort of revenge on Nick Aldis. And that's why I can literally see a path that has Cody Randy, it has Jacob Sammy, and it has Drew McIntyre and Nick Aldis at WrestleMania. Like, I see a path that's what they're working out in the room.
My other question then is, does this feel overthought? Like they overthought this path? Because that's how I felt coming out of this main event. It's like, man, they are just overthinking.
Okay, so I do think they've overthought it, but let's take a step back then and say, what should they have done? Like, if they just worked this out 6 months ago to be like, we are leading to this. What is this? And what should it have been? Because I actually like Drew McIntyre in a big spot, but they have not booked him very well.
No,
so
they don't treat him like a big time guy, despite him holding their world title.
Yes. So they haven't booked him very well at all. I wish they had booked him differently, because I could see, like, if it was booked properly, I could see Drew and Cody being a big time match at WrestleMania, but they haven't booked it that way, and they're far away from that now.
And they've booked that match a bunch of times on TV too, so it's hard to really sell it again as a WrestleMania title match.
Yep. But including Randy Orton in this is beyond dumb.
Yeah.
As much respect as, like, I think Jacob Fatu is awesome. He shouldn't be in a title match at WrestleMania this quickly. I really would have liked to have seen Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre, and not have Drew just bury him at the Rumble, and him lead up to the fact that he was so close and doing everything he could, and he's going to get one, like, have it be this, like they're doing with Hangman.
Yep.
He never gets a chance to ever challenge again for the world title if he doesn't beat Drew and win the title at WrestleMania. And they could have done that all the way through up to, and I would be intrigued in that match. So, but they're far away from all of that now.
Yep. This just feels so disorganized how they're going about it. It really does feel like we're changing paths, like not in a good keep them on the edge of their seat controlled manner. This feels very disorganized the way that we're going, and this is WrestleMania. Like this just feels all off.
Well,
right?
And look, this is another show, but like, who's the biggest star they've pushed in the last 6 months? It's Gunther.
Yep.
He's the career killer. What the hell are they doing with him at WrestleMania?
Great question.
What's happening? He's the biggest star that they've had. Brock Lesnar has an open challenge. Why? Because they couldn't come up with any other thing for Brock Lesnar to do? And I'm telling you, this reality series is doing, to me, the opposite of what you actually want to do. It is literally showing you behind the scenes that they have no clue what they're doing.
Yep.
So do I think they're unorganized? Before it was speculation. Now it's like, no, I'm watching those meetings and going, yeah, they're not.
Yeah. They have no clue.
No. And, a final thought on this. It's amazing to me about how people think that the smartest person in the entire business is Paul Heyman, because it's one voice that comes out and says, we should actually think about next year and then book it backwards.
Work backward. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's the smartest person that's ever lived in the world of professional wrestling, because nobody else, Zach, in the world has thought we should actually go to next year's WrestleMania and book it backwards.
Yeah.
So that it all makes sense leading up to that. And we try to stick to that plan as much as we can.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, that was the staple of, and I'm not trying to put over Vince McMahon here on this, but that was just something Vince and Gerald Briscoe and Pritchard and Pat Patterson, they would go to Vince's house and they would, be by the pool. It's like, all right, here's what we're doing at this WrestleMania. We're going to work backwards, and this is what we're going to do on this TV and whatnot. And that was, part of the 90s charm of a lot of the WWF is that they work backwards on stuff.
Yeah.
Now, last couple of years with Vince, it was very much the opposite. He would just like throw stuff up in the air and rip up, formats 2 hours before the show starts. But, and my other thing, I know you said final thought, but I was also thinking, I say this partially joking.
Okay.
Would it really be that bad if The Rock showed up at this point?
Oh my! And so somebody else hit me with that. I think it was our super fan who was kind of joking last night when he texted me, and I'm like, at this point, it couldn't be worse. Like at this point, I'm like, just something to try and make it better.
Yeah.
Yes. And speaking of, that was one of the examples I was going to give. Remember when they actually knew that The Rock and John Cena were going to fight at 2 WrestleManias in a row?
Yep.
And that they booked the first one like 6 months before that. So it was like 18 months, and they booked the first one knowing The Rock was going to beat John Cena, and then announcing that they were going to fight again in another year, and John Cena was going to beat The Rock. And then they actually did it. Imagine that.
Crazy. And they sold a lot of pay-per-views on that when it was all about pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
That's what you're supposed to do.
When you keep promoting people on television and you keep telling people that they're important, you don't need them out there all the time. You just can't let them forget. And they didn't for like a year and a half. No, The Rock and John Cena, they're going to fight again.
And to use the Paul Heyman example that you mentioned earlier, Paul Heyman bringing up, Paul Heyman knew this too with the very first Barely Legal pay-per-view. He knew that Taz and Sabu was going to be on that pay-per-view.
Yep.
And he had always set it up for Taz and Sabu.
Yeah, and he booked it years in advance.
Yeah.
Like, you look at all the best things about ECW back in the day. They had all of this like kind of chaos and violence, and they did some, they're able to bring in the Guerreros and the Malenkos and the Benoits and the Jerichos. They brought in Mysterio and Psychosis and Juventud Guerrera and all of this stuff that I don't want to say was the undercard, but they had all of these like things like, oh my God, we're going to do this and this and this. And it's like chaos at a wall But if you look long term, they had Taz and Sabu, and they had Tommy Dreamer never ever being able to beat Raven.
Yep.
These years gone by where all of this stuff that was going to pay off at some point. And it did, because imagine that.
Crazy.
And it's so to answer your question, no, I don't think they have an absolute plan as to what they're going to do. I still think that their plan is to have Cody and Randy, because they think that will sell to the WWE audience, and they can put that on night 1 with having Roman and CM Punk on night 2, and feel like they have legit main events on each night. That is where I think they are.
Gotcha.
I don't like it, but that's where I think their bigger plan is, that was drawn up months ago. Now, somebody convinced them to put the title on Drew McIntyre, and Cody was going to him and pressing, like, if it was their plan all along to have Cody and Randy Orton, they should have just left the title on Cody.
Yep.
And had Randy win Elimination Chamber some other way without Cody being in it, and they should have done that.
I agree. I need The Rock back on TV telling the fans to go back to smoking crack. That's what I want on my WWE programming. You should go back out there and smoke crack. I was like,
so
yeah.
Right now that you're at the point where you still think it's going to be the 4-way?
I'm still feeling it.
Okay.
Because I think while it makes sense with Cody Orton, I also think there's a bit of a play going on with Roman Reigns where he wants to be the lone solo, this is the money match, singles match. That's where I'm kind of feeling, because you've noticed that Roman's been amping up his pro wrestling mentality in the last little bit, which makes me think, oh, pro wrestling's coming back in the WWE. Roman Reigns has embraced it. And Roman and CM Punk is absolutely a money match. But, I don't know if Roman wants another money match. I think he wants to be the sole money match. That's the only thing that prevents me from going Cody Orton. And it's not even for Cody or Orton.
No, and
because Roman's taken a back seat the last couple of years to Cody. And so Roman's like, I'm a top guy. I want to have an opportunity to be the guy. So.
Yeah, no, I get that. But this company is about making money first. We know that with their ticket prices and all of the things. So if they think they can draw, especially with poor WrestleMania sales, it feels like they're going to do that, putting the title back on Cody on SmackDown so that they have as much time as they possibly can to get Randy and Cody heated up for that so that they can sell some more tickets. They believe that's going to sell tickets. I don't think, I would much rather the 4-way, because at least Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, to me, would have a shot at still winning and coming out of WrestleMania with the title. But I would not want a Cody Randy match, just for the record. But do I think they believe that match makes them the most money? Yes. I don't think the 4-way is more intriguing to the WWE brass to make money than Cody Randy is. So, Zach, I would hate to ask you this at the end of a show, but we have to. What's your rating for Elimination Chamber 2026?
Not a passing grade, I can tell you that. I can't for the life of me give this more than a 5 out of 10. Do you imagine?
Well, that is a passing grade, Zach.
Yeah,
50%
exactly.
is a pass.
Yeah, I can't do that. I was reading through some of the reviews. I saw one outlet, which I will keep nameless, give it an 8.1.
No, come on, Zach.
I'm like, 8.1?
No, that can't be true. That can't be true.
I'm telling you, I saw it. Tell me what I'm telling lies.
Well,
Lee.
then name the outlet for me.
All right, the outlet was 411 Mania.
No.
Slimmer's WWE Elimination Chamber 2026 review. He gave it an 8.1. He gave Becky Lynch and AJ Lee 4 stars. Imagine looking at that match and be like, yep, that's in the upper echelon of professional wrestling. 4 stars.
Well, that would make me not go to that publication anymore.
Yes. So I was going to keep it hidden, but I again, to steal from CM Punk, tell me when I'm telling lies. It's 8.1 on 411 Mania. So all that to say, it is not an 8.1 out of 10 show that they have put out there. I'm hovering around a Bret Hart 4 out of 10. That's where I'm kind of leaning towards. There was not much on this show to really sink your teeth into. It felt like a pit stop. And the longest pit stop ever in some cases. You got Danhausen, who I've already seen the WWE fans trying to retcon it and be like, you know what, this might not be as bad. They're trying to like talk themselves into the Danhausen stuff. I've already seen it because Danhausen has been tweeting this morning as we're recording. And the latest tweet I just saw him put out is Cold Steve Austin still the Monday Night Raw general manager? That's the latest tweet from Danhausen. So doing the Santino bit for his gimmick. Again, I could just hear it. I need to get that Roman Reigns. Yeah, that's right. No pop and little sound effect and get that playing after that. So I'm giving this a 4 out of 10, and that might be me being even generous. I don't know. I'm just
I think that's fair, and that's where I was going to go around. So I'll do 3.9 just to be
just be that guy.
You know,
folks, Lee Versage at one time said, you can't give me a 7.2 or a 7.3. You can't give me these. I need a definitive 8 or an 8.5. I'll give you a 0.5. So
you know what, Zach? You hear this? You've got finally you've got me riled up. This is a 3 out of 10. You know why?
There you go.
It's a 3 to 10 because I was going to put Punk and Balor just because of them, and they tried on this pay-per-view, and it was okay.
Yeah.
But they couldn't freaking help themselves with having AJ Lee come back out after Punk wins so that they can have a moment together, because you get it. They're the Chicago crowd. Punk's the champion and AJ Lee's the champion, and they're a couple.
Oh, yes, that makes so much sense.
And then Punk afterwards, did you see the photo that he took?
I did not see the photo. No, I just turned it off at that point.
That he's pretending he's naked.
Oh, that photo. Yes. Okay.
And he's got his own belt around his waist.
Yeah.
And he's got her belt around his chest. So you know what, Punk? I got something for your punk ass, said Sublime. It's downgraded. You're downgraded because you couldn't help yourself to have a moment with your wife afterwards and take some dorky photo with a meaningless goddamn belt, with the Intercontinental Women's belt.
There you go.
Sorry, you just got downgraded. 3 out of 10. This is an absolute fail. This is one of the worst shows I have watched in a very long time. I don't have anything good to say about either one of the feature matches in the Elimination Chambers. As you said, run-ins galore in a cage match. 3 different people were able to break into this and make a significant impact in the cage match that is designed to keep people out. You had a geriatric 92-year-old Randy Orton win this match to go on to WrestleMania. And in between, you had one of the worst, this is rivaling the gobbledygooker of one of the worst things to be built up and then out of an egg, out of a box.
Yeah.
This was as horrific as it gets. To the point where Danhausen is fairly over with the Smart Wrestling crowd and got booed coming into Chicago, which is a hot crowd in Chicago.
It was not that night, though.
Nope, but he got booed.
Yeah.
So weeks of television, weeks of the box gets booed. A geriatric old man wins the Elimination Chamber with 3 run-ins in a cage match. You have a match for worst match of the year with AJ Lee and Becky Lynch. Horrific. And then you had a post-game show where someone just got a title match that was in the Elimination Chamber and lost. That guy who lost, he deserves a title match in 6 days. Let's give it to him. All of that happened. All of that happened, Zach.
Yeah.
On one show. This show is a 3 out of 10. And as I'm talking, I want to give it lower. I'm literally going down every time I mention, holy crap, this happened too. Oh my God, this happened as well.
Yeah.
And I'll go back to one of the highlights of the whole goddamn thing was Kiana James just doing normal things.
Just being a pro wrestler.
Just coming in and doing a few moves before she got eliminated. One of the highlights of the whole goddamn night.
One of the highlights is that a pro wrestler was competent.
Yes, that's true though. I think back on this night and I go, okay, Punk and Balor in their match and Kiana James. Like, oh, and Tiffany Stratton, every time she gets hit in the goddamn mouth, she bleeds in big moments. Right?
Oh,
Tiffany
wow.
Stratton, every time. Oh, her mouth's wrecked again. Her mouth's wrecked again. Good for her.
Yes. Wow, she put in a competent performance out there.
And we didn't even get to LA Knight falling off the goddamn rope again.
Yeah.
What a loser. Every time he's in a big spot, he falls down literally. In Money in the Bank, he just fell down to the outside when he was supposed to be back up in it. He got scolded on the reality show. And then he falls off the rope in another big moment. For every goddamn person that thinks that LA Knight, oh, it's been 5 years, he hasn't gone away. Folks, he has gone away. He was never there. He's a geek. He's a loser. And he'll never be where you think he should be because he sucks ass. And again, in a big spot, he looked like a geek. Like we didn't even mention him on this terrible pay-per-view. And he made a really bad mistake again. Oh my God. What are Javon Williams? Javon Evans and AJ Styles. AJ Lee. What are they supposed to think? Zach, there was a moment in the men's match where I'm like, what the hell is going on in the minds of Javon Evans and Trick Williams right now? Like, are they flattered to be there or embarrassed to be there? Which one?
I don't know. I think they're just happy to be there. We're in the WWE. We're on the main roster. We're in the main event. Sure, we're getting pinned by Logan Paul, but by God, we're here. We made it.
No, but yeah, look at Zach. If there's one thing, you know what? If I want to upgrade it to a 3.1 or a 3.2, it would be that they gave Logan Paul what he richly deserves. I'm telling you right now, because there's been talk of it, and they're not going to do it because they're going to do Logan Paul and Seth Rollins, which will be okay at WrestleMania. But when they do Logan Paul and Bad Bunny, I'm in. I am in. I think Logan Paul is really, really good. He's one of the bright spots for me when I watch a show. I really like him. But I'm not upgrading it to more than a 3. This was an absolutely horrific show.
Don't hold back, Lee. Tell us how you really feel.
And a horrific show that did not have most of your top stars in it. Roman Reigns, not on the show. Gunther, not on the show. Brock Lesnar, not on the show. Right there's 3 guys. When's the last time Stephanie Vakura wrestled? Love to see her.
Yeah. Remember her? She's a champion.
Yeah. One of the decent parts of the women's division. Nope, not on the show.
Not on the show.
I know we're doing this whole, you might not love the Liv Morgan stuff, but she's very popular.
Yep.
Not on the show.
Not on the show.
No. No, we can't fit it in. We got a couple of guys that are going to go down in masks, and they're just guys. We can't have time for Stephanie.
Literal Jags. Just another guy. That's
just another guy.
There's just a guy on SmackDown and just another guy on Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, this has been one of the longest shows in the history of This Is Wrestling. So
yes.
And
I'm just looking up and realize how long we've been going.
Yeah, it's an insane amount of time here. However, enjoy it, folks. We're gonna have some. I'm just telling people, if you have waited this long through the show, you do deserve something.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, we're gonna be doing shows on video soon. We're gonna be doing like really soon.
Yeah.
Like as of maybe next week? This week?
Yep. I think it's coming pretty soon. Yeah.
This week, next week, depending on the schedules, we're going to have Zach sit down for it. Live shows.
Whoa.
Where people can get in and chat with us during the shows.
Wow.
And we're going to announce that soon. And also, I don't have my, where's my buff? Zach, where's my buff? I thought I had my buff here.
I need my 8-bit music championship that I was I was clearly a conspiracy victim through all this for all the people that tuned into that
you better
episode.
wait for another show to get into this, because I'm going to yell at you about this, and this is another 15 minutes.
Okay, gotcha.
So
fair enough.
Don't do this.
I am a conspiracy victim, but I will save my thoughts for it next episode.
Yeah, we'll do that, because conspiracy victims usually lose.
Yeah, but this is about principle, Lee. This is about principle.
Somehow you're gonna take all of it.
I win, and yet somehow I am a victim in all this. So,
well, Zach, I just don't want to tell you whether I win or I lose. I win. Just so you know how it all works.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're gonna have live shows coming up, and if you're with us for this long, and we appreciate it, the fact that we're going to do some, some video shows through a new website. Don't worry, you'll be able to find all of it. It'll all be paired together on This Is OSN. OSN coming at you soon.
Yep.
There's been some good stuff, but we're going to bring everybody together with it. We're going to do some live shows. We're going to do some video shows. We're going to do some nuance shows like we've been doing with the 8-bit championship and some of the shorts. So lots to come on This Is Wrestling, like soon. Like the month of March is here, and we're changing gears here.
Love it. Love it.
And if you're with us this long, good for you. A week today, March the 8th, Sunday, March 8th, Ottawa Survivor. And one of us who was not a conspiracy victim was a contestant on the show, and we'll be able to go through it together.
Wow.
Yes, that was me. Survivor Ottawa, you'll be able to get links on thisisosn.com and on YouTube, but we will be promoting that as well. You can follow along. Maybe I finished 3rd. Maybe I finished 7th. Maybe I finished 1st. Maybe I finished last. So many things, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, you have been very pushy lately, so maybe it was last. I don't know.
I can tell you that there's one human being that I know that knows the results, but nobody else does.
Wow.
Like-
I legitimately don't know. I've been told.
No, I can tell you
I'm
don't know.
keeping it kayfabe, brother. Like I am not known anything.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
No, because nobody does. Like my family does not.
Yeah. That's
Like-
crazy.
Like
You got a little secret, Lee.
I got a little secret. Oh, it's gonna play it on TV.
You're gonna find out. I can't tell you right now, but it's gonna go
I can't wait. Oh my god, I could book an entire pay-per-view because I feel like I got a secret.
You're gonna have to find out. You don't know. Ooh, you don't know.
Very exciting. You know, I didn't look at it like that, but I've been good. I've been good. Like I said, there's one person that knows, and that's it. And other than that, my family, my friends, people at OSN, TSN, This Is Wrestling, nobody knows, which is kind of wild.
Yeah, crazy.
Comes out next week, Sunday, March 8th. Well, we have a big viewing party here. We'll do something.
Ooh.
So we'll talk during the week, Zach. But this has been fun. This has been a long, and we do appreciate it. I mean this very sincerely. If you're still with us, good for you.
Yes, absolutely.
You are one of the what is the show you're on? The real ones. That's what he calls them.
The real ones.
Yeah, Chris Van Vliet.
Savage Paulson, the blue collar sports. Is that the show you're talking about, or
no? Chris Van Vliet.
Oh, Chris Van Vliet.
If you listen to his mailbag, you're a real one.
Ah, okay, gotcha.
Because you're not just coming in for the interviews. You're like a hardcore fan.
Yeah.
So you're a real one. Well, I know that you're just on the show. Like
I'm not Brad Williams.
Right.
I'm not Hornswoggle. I'm not Paul Walter Hauser. I'm not CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan.
For Z McGibbon, Zach McGibbon, and all of his other handles, I'm Lee Versage. Thanks again for listening to another edition of This Is Wrestling.